Quentin Tarantino's 9th movie. I'm like, why don't you just name it that shit?
Right. No, that's for number 10. Yeah. I like that he's already called his shot, and number 10 will be my last.
Yeah. Number 9 was supposed to be your last.
Right.
He even said that
he's supposed to be writing books by now.
Yeah, and in this movie, he said that he wrote it as a novel. We're talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Seems this world got you down. You're feeling bad vibrations.
Are you an actor?
No, I'm a stuntman.
I'll go ahead and try to save my voice, get my Voldemort on. People, we will be in the realm of Toronto on May 25th, and we will be at the Adelaide Hall, where we will be spinning our dark magic. When the doors open at 6 and the show begins at 7, it'll be a full night of comedy games and the music. But, I can't figure if I'm going to do stop at number 9 and number 10. It's just a matter of where I want to go out as the greatest director in the world, One of the greatest directors in the world.
We're doing 10, okay?
But hey, people, he's done some great work. There's always something brilliant about his movies, whether you like them or not. Even if it's a scene.
Sure.
There's something in there that you can just rewatchable. And they say that with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which we're about to watch the full trailer for it, they say that this is a return to the Quentin Tarantino that some people have been asking for, and maybe a couple of ways.
Really?
And I got an email to read. I'm sorry, my voice is going, y'all. I talked about this at the beginning of the show. I have an email about somebody talking about how we feel about a certain thing within this trailer. And is that a reflection of how Quentin Tarantino feels about how his career has gone with certain films?
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer right here, and we'll be back. Let me cut this down a little bit before they come in blazing. And we'll be back with that email and our reaction.
In this town, that can all change like that.
Well, first of all, if I can scroll back real quick.
Sideshow Luke Perry.
Yeah, Luke Perry's in here, man. Of course, a huge cast because
I didn't see Luke Perry.
He's in there. I'll show you
his name.
Of course, a huge cast of huge stars because, Quentin Tarantino, he's not got the clout. There's one particular star that he's always going to bring back, and that's the foot. He put that foot right up there. He said,
right in his
I like the
name.
way he just like, I'm known as the foot man. He just gave into it now. He ain't even trying to hide it no more.
I like it. Now you gonna like it.
Dirty ass gangrene feet too, right there. Also, some things they're talking about. They're saying that you might be seeing the return of some characters that we've seen before in some other movies. Kurt Russell, they say he might be returning as Stuntman Mike, I believe.
From Death Proof?
From Death Proof,
okay.
Which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of, but I always like the way he's always brought in some other characters from, in his universe that he does, even if it doesn't make sense, the connection that he has. I don't know how I feel about the whole Sharon Tate, Charles Manson thing, because this movie's already getting rave reviews at Cannes or Cannes or whatever, but that's that festival. They're going to rave over everything, man. And they've released some things that personally I just hate it, and they've been like, "Oh, this is awesome." And Quentin Tarantino is making look. I'll tell you, the casting is great though. Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate.
She looks like Sharon.
Looks amazing.
Looks like Sharon Tate. Yeah,
looks amazing. Now I don't know what's happening because apparently you have Leonardo DiCaprio who's playing this aging actor who I guess is kind of. I guess he's seen better days in his career. And the only person that's really out there to kind of give him a boost is a stuntman played by Brad Pitt. And while things are going crazy in his life, now he's got these group of hippies next door that are getting kind of wild. And I've heard some of the things that people been saying from Cannes, and they were talking about how. Of course, people be like, "This is amazing. This is awesome. It's a masterpiece. This is, this guy's an auteur. He's a genius." And it's like, okay, like, all right, could be, but you're always gonna get one of those two people and be like, "Hey, man, look, I ain't gonna bullshit you." Right? One person said, "I don't really know how I feel about this. Some great things in there, but yeah, man, people gonna be split on this, especially when it comes to the end of the movie." And Quentin Tarantino has come out and wrote, I guess, a tweet or sent out wrote an article or something telling people, please do not spoil the movie. If you saw it at the festival, do not say anything about it. Do not spoil anything. Because people are saying there's a big. The ending is a gut punch for people. Okay. And what I'm thinking is, it's like
it's the Manson murders.
It's the Manson murders, and I think that if it's you're talking about splitting people, and you're talking about how this is something that's going to affect people in a really depressing way, which I've actually heard. I can only think that considering it's Quentin Tarantino, he's going to show the effects of that murder somehow. Whether the most horrific part, the most horrific parts where you see the bodies, or you see the murders about to happen, or maybe the murders even happening. Because I even heard one thing where somebody said, "Shit, I wonder how Roman Polanski's going to feel about this." Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. I don't want to see that if that's the case.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing about Tarantino's movies. Even from Reservoir Dogs, they almost all have one scene in them that is super uncomfortable. That's his signature.
But those have always been mostly fantasies,
right?
Fictional.
They weren't based on something historical that actually happened.
Yeah, I don't want to see a pregnant woman get murdered and have blood baby cut out of her. Yeah, I don't want to see that. What are you gonna say, Billy?
Well, no, I was just gonna say in *Inglourious Basterds* he killed Hitler. So.
Yeah, but he killed Hitler, and he killed Hitler in almost a cartoon fantasy.
Right,
yeah,
that's true. That's true.
We're talking about a real horrific murder where, like Martin
really
said, a baby was cut from a woman. Yeah. And I don't want to see any. And plus, there were several other people there that were murdered too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I got chills when she's like, "I'm playing Sharon Tate." I said, "Oh shit!" And then when he's at the hippie scene, and then you see the dude in the kind of weird costume, which I guess is supposed to be Roman Polanski taking her out on a date, and then you see all the long hair people watching. I was just like,
and then you see
Manson right there.
I saw that, but I mean, before, I kind of caught on to that beforehand, and I saw that was clearly Roman Polanski taking her out. So.
Yeah, I mean, because now what we have here is like, I don't know how I feel about it. And again, I'm going to get to the point of what we're talking about. I'm just thinking, just out loud right now while I'm on this tangent here. I'm just thinking you also have to consider that this is still somewhat, if that's true, that Kurt Russell is playing a slasher stunt man from another movie of his, so we are kind of in a fictional fantasy world in a way. Right. But you want to bring in Charles Manson here, and unless again. I'm only thinking out loud because of this big thing that happens at the end that nobody wants to talk about.
Right.
I'm just telling you, I don't want to see some shit like that. And I don't think it's bold. I don't think it's genius. When you do that kind
horrible.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really say. Getting to this email that this person wrote. Boy, I hope my throat comes back by the time.
Who's playing Charles Manson? I couldn't place.
I said it last time we talked about this trailer. If you want to see that reaction, it's right here on this YouTube channel. Or better yet, go to our main site, doubletoasted.com, and you can watch the full unedited video over there. I don't think it's somebody who's a huge name out there.
It looked like, what's his name?
Oh, I know you talked the dude from...
he was on Lost for a while, too.
Or the dude from...
Jeremy Davies?
Jeremy Davies. It kind of looked like him, but...
I was thinking...
It's funny. He looks like another actor from Justified who we used to hang out with Jeremy Davies' character on that show.
I was thinking of Hannibal. The show Hannibal.
Hugh Dancy?
Hugh Dancy, but that's not him.
No, that's not Hugh Dancy. That's going to bother me now.
Let me see here. Oh, there it is. Jordan Hoffman wrote this email.
Oh,
no, I thought that was the name of the guy. Jordan Hoffman, that's him.
I was like, wait, I know Jordan Hoffman. That ain't him.
This is a question for the Weekly Roast and Toast. Hey, Corey Martin and potentially Billy. At the beginning of the latest trailer for Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, there's a discussion of violence followed by a scene in which the Leo character kills a bunch of Nazis. The character doesn't seem to be pleased with his career path. Did that strike anyone else as Tarantino taking the piss out of himself? Do you guys think that this was just a self-referential gag? Or do you think that we may be seeing some growth in Tarantino as a filmmaker and perhaps a more mature perspective on his earlier work? Thanks, and stay toasty. I thought that was a brilliant question.
I just saw it as him doing a nod to *Inglourious Basterds* within this film.
I could see that. I thought that was a brilliant question because it did make me think. It made me think about Quentin Tarantino's work as a whole, because I mean, yeah, I you're right. It could be just like, hey, I'm the guy that made Inglourious Basterds. I'm making fun of my own film, but
also he has a cheesy line. It's also I think a nod to where the actor's career is going within the film.
Yeah.
Like he has that cheesy line. Anybody want some sauerkraut?
Yeah, man.
I mean,
I was thinking that also, could it be that maybe this is Tarantino? I mean, as the Brits say, taking a piss out of himself. Because he's like, I know I've made some over the top films, and this is kind of me poking fun of myself. Not saying that I've made bad work, but just saying like, I know how over the top that I've been.
We watched a Rick Dalton double feature.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut? Nazi bastards!
Actually, I love that line too. That laugh that he does. Thinking about that, I mean, I don't know, if what you're saying is true. I mean, it's a good idea, because with this movie, it does seem like it might be going back to some more of his works that weren't so outlandish. Like I say, man, a lot of people saying that this is kind of return to Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Because you're going to be going between different characters in this movie. Right. But I mean, now that he's handling more kind of grounded material, I would love to think that what you're saying might be true. That he knows that I'm self-aware of the movies that I've made, and now that I'm going and making something that might be relatively a little more serious, I can poke fun of that, because I've always missed the Tarantino that I got with, and the movie I'm talking about.
Oh, Jackie Brown.
Now you got to listen to this, man, because this concerns you. Are
thing with me, you got to be prepared to go all the way.
I actually I love that movie. Didn't even love it as much as first. Yeah, I think that's out of all of them. That's my favorite one. I love Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is up there, man.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction's a close second, but that's my favorite.
I think the reason why I like this is because, I mean, I love Pulp Fiction, don't get me wrong. I think I love it because it was the one that was probably also the least gimmicky of his movies. That's true. It was, and I'm not even going to compare it to Pulp Fiction, because Pulp Fiction was doing something completely different. This is doing something different. I like that he made a movie that relied on a lot of tricks. This doesn't do that so much. And I was looking forward to seeing a mixture of the Pulp Fiction Tarantino and the little more serious Tarantino, the more straightforward Tarantino. Yeah. And it went anywhere but that. After that, right after that we got Kill Bill, which I know a lot of people love. But we started to get into the fanboy era.
Oh yeah,
of Tarantino. So. You know what I'm saying, Martin?
Yeah. I mean, which of his films post Jackie Brown aren't fanboy films?
Yeah, because I'm even thinking about,
because even the Hateful Eight has that.
Yeah, it does kind of, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
it has it less than the others, but it's still in there.
And I actually like Hateful Eight. I don't love it, but I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I love when someone can do a good bottle film.
And it really is a good bottle film, man. It's not like, I
mean, Reservoir Dogs kind of is too, but
yeah. And even in Inglourious Basterds, it's a comic book. It's Indiana Jones, man.
Bring me my Nazi's scalps.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't take this seriously.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's a messy film.
Yeah.
I think it's got some brilliant scenes in there.
Like tonally, it just goes back and forth, and you're like,
it's all over the place.
Yeah. Brilliant in some parts, but all over the place. That's why when I saw that this movie was coming out, like I said, I got my reservations about it right now. I don't know what's going to happen with it.
It looks like it stays on target more.
It does. It looks like it's probably going to have more focus than any of those other movies. It's not going to be all over the place. It's not going to be fanboying. Only in the sense it's going to be fanboying about Hollywood.
Right. I mean, he gets to slip Bruce Lee in there, and it's almost like, all right, he gets to exercise that demon a little bit, so he can make all the rest of it serious. It's like, you get your little fanboy out with Bruce Lee, and now we can stay on target.
Yeah, well put right there.
At least that's the hope.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I think, maybe, we can't say for sure, but maybe with everything that we've said, given the trajectory of his career and seeing how these movies have been pretty much comic books, and cartoons in a way, I think that maybe say I'm back to being a little more focused, a little more straightforward, and doing that I can let's poke a little fun at my more sillier parts of my career.
And also keep in mind this is a trailer, so it could go a lot of places.
Of course. Yeah, we don't know.
I mean look at how they cut that Jackie Brown trailer together. We know that movie, and I was like, well, that's not what happens. He didn't say that to her. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, no, that's true. You never know with a trailer, man. Comes out this July though.
Looks good though. It does look good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And thank you for watching, everyone. hit the subscribe button. If you had a good time, keep the fun times coming. Or better yet, go to our main site, doubletoasted.com, where you can find the long-form version of this video, unedited, uncensored, along with the live streams that we do almost every night of the week. Support us at dtmerch.com, and remember to always stay toasty.